G'day folks, welcome to another episode of Stuff and Such. It's getting close to butcher time. When you start getting your birds looking big and plump like that, you start to think about time to put them in the freezer. So this little quick video I'm going to show you what we use for our, for lack of a better term, killing cones. So right now we're about a 9.5 pound average dressed in the freezer. Likely that's actually going to be a bit higher because that was about 5 days ago that we processed. So when they get to about this size, they're almost putting on a pound a week. So I'm going to be expecting almost a 10 pound average on our next butcher session. So there's enough gabbing here. Let's get on with the point of the video. Here we have our killing cone set up. You might recognize those buckets, and you might not. So let's go have a chat and show you how we make them. These buckets here, if you're in the northern hemisphere, you might recognize them. They're maple syrup buckets, and so they're really good plastic. They're meant for minus 15, 20 Celsius cold weather to take that shock. And also these ones are 3 gallon. I went and bought them today. So these ones are 3 gallon. So that's designed to actually hold 30 pounds from this little hook here. So I think they'll be plenty big, plenty strong enough to hold chicken. So they do make 2 gallon and they do make 3 gallon. The ones you saw on the rack, they're 2 gallon. Problem with those though is that they're just a titch small for these big birds that we're processing. They fit the 8 pound birds perfectly, and when you start getting bigger than that, into the 8.5, 9, they start getting tight, and when you start getting into the 10, 11, 12, they don't really fit at all. So I went out and purchased these. They run about $6 Canadian, which in my opinion isn't really that bad considering what they want to charge for a piece of sheet metal. You just screw to a tree. It's kind of a goofy system. So basically you take a what is this, 3 inch? No, this is a 4 1/4 or 4 1/8 hole saw. So fairly big. You don't want to be fighting to get the head through. Basically just drill a hole through them and you're done. And that's essentially it. So these ones are big. They'll fit probably a 15, 20 pound turkey. I don't know that for certain, but that's my guess. They'd be about 11 inches across the face of that. So that's pretty good size. Now, a lot of people wonder what's the reasoning that you use these cones for. They might seem inhumane, I guess, or I don't know. The reason you have to do that is because if you just do the traditional thing, you just go and chop your head off with an axe, they sit there and they beat their wings, and what will happen is they'll blow out their elbow or bust the bone in their arm, or sometimes they'll dislocate the entire shoulder. And while they're doing that flappy flap thing, they still have blood in their system, and then they'll bruise themselves. And that's another thing you got to be careful of, is when you're bringing the chicken over to these, if you can kind of try and keep them somewhat calm, because what'll happen, because it was explained to me and it made a lot of sense, is that a lot of people blame the plucker on bruising, and it doesn't make sense, because if you've properly bled your chicken out in your killing cone, then it's not possible to bruise after it's dead, and well, also the blood has been drained out of them. So perhaps this video is a little bit on the gruesome side, but I guess that's just reality. Nature's rough and you gotta put meat in the freezer somehow. So that's what I use. The reason I like these ones so much is because they're long. It's about 16 inches long, and they're tapered, you can kind of see, so that way it'll kind of lodge them in a wedge shape and hold everything tight and fast. And so that's what I use. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Subscribe to the channel. Anyways, take care, guys. Catch you in the next video.